Lions TV, okay, welcome to your Sunday show. This is your post-match analysis for yesterday's game, amongst other things. Of course, after yesterday's defeat, I did lose my shit, but it wasn't in the heat of the moment. It's been something I've been considering for a while. I'm going to flat talk to you today. There's going to be no upbeat, happy, clappy, smiley, formatted show. I'm just going to tell you exactly how I'm feeling, why I'm feeling it, my reasons behind why I want Gary Rowett out. So, I've been thinking it for a couple of weeks, to be honest. As I said, the dynamics changed, it shifted for me. As it did when Neil Harris, I thought he had to go at that Blackburn last year under Harris or whenever it was, when we lost 2-0 when the players went across the halfway line. Something fundamentally had changed for me, in my opinion, you know, at that point, and I just could see it going one way. I said this in my video a couple of weeks ago, I can only see it going one way under Rowett now. And it is a shame. It is a shame. And yes, he has been unlucky. But ultimately, this is a results business. It's an unforgiving game, football. It's definitely an unforgiving game being a football manager, and we are an unforgiving fan base. And I'm not saying it for YouTube views, because, by the way, for the Wally saying that, I've got 14,000 subscribers, not even 14,000. It's clickbait. I don't get fuck all for ad revenue. I get money from sponsorship. So at the minute, my full-time reaction from yesterday is about 3,500 views. That's not the reason that I did it. I did it because I genuinely love this football club, and I think it's in the best interest of the football club that Gary Rowett leaves. When I should have said it 2 weeks ago, I didn't. And I let myself down there. I let myself down because I said it to my mate who I confide in about everything. And I said, you know what, mate? I said, I think it's done. And he said, I don't agree with you. I don't think it is done. I said, well, I think it's done. And these are my reasons why. And he said, well, if you think that, then you've got to put it on your channel. Why have you not put it on your channel? I said, well, there'll be a backlash. And I don't think they're ready for that yet. And he said, look, you've got the following you've got. And you've been going for as long as you have because people value your opinion. And we're rightly or wrongly, sometimes I don't always get it right. You're strong in your opinions, you back your opinions, you give the reasons why. You've got to put it out there. And I said to him again Friday, we're going to lose tomorrow. There's no way back from this. And honestly, there is no way back from this. So I'm not doing it for clicks. I'm not doing it for views, because at the ad revenue for the video currently about 3,400 views. I'll probably get about 75p. So it's not why I do it. You know, and again, he's not a Millwall fan. I'm not a Millwall fan. I worked for London Live, okay. Going around doing all the grounds. It's not a secret. The show rules on my YouTube channel. Before I did Lions TV, it's what gave me the idea for Lions TV. The guy that gave me the push to do Lions TV, because he was in and around Ball Street at the time, and he said, "Is there a Millwall channel?" I looked and said, "No, there's not." He said, "Mate, you should do it." So for those saying I'm not a Millwall fan, I've jumped on a bandwagon. This same guy who plugged me in, who's a talent agent, said, "If you supported Chelsea, your channel will be as big as Arsenal Fan TV." So I wouldn't choose to support Millwall. It's something that's come through my family. I've been going all my life. I've got friends that can back that. I've got people that can back that. So this is not a farce. This is not a fake show. I am a Millwall fan, and it is for those exact reasons I care that much about the club that I've stuck my neck on the line, which again I didn't do with Neil Harris, which I should have done with Neil Harris. But because he was a legend, again, I maybe gave him too much respect. And what I did understand with Harris was, I can only say it once. Once I've said it once, I can't take it back. So I'm that confident in what I'm saying. I'm shouting, I'm going to slow down a bit, about Gary Rowett, that I've gone out there and said it. And 2 weeks ago when I said I can see this only going one way, but I do genuinely believe he deserves more time, people laughed at me. Now, I've been looking at the comments, it's about a 50-50 split. And I think in another 2 weeks' time from now, people will be saying to me, do you know what, you was right. The reasons why with Gary Rowett, let's talk about that. Before we even get into the game, let's talk about the reasons why I believe it's gone very quickly south under Mr. Gary Rowett. There's been no middle ground with Rowett. You know, we've gone in, flying out the blocks like this, and then now it's gone and capitulated and gone south very, very quickly, as I've said. So, why is that? I don't know, and I don't think Rowett knows, and I think that's why he's in that situation. Let's look at factors that could point towards why Callum Davidson leaves the club. Not ideal for Rowett. Did he have that much of an influence on the players? Maybe not, but he did seem like Rowett's go-to guy, and every time you had a photo pop up, you know, I use graphics on my channel and I put pictures up of Gary Rowett. It was very hard to find, a picture of Gary Rowett. Callum Davidson wasn't right there on his shoulder. So he's took the Millwall job, he's brought Callum down with him. Callum's left, and he's not really got that number 2 to bounce off. I know Adam Barrett is the number 2 now, but he just seems to cut a very lonely figure. I personally don't really think it's probably to do with the players' factor of that side of it. I think it's maybe to do with Rowett's got not his right-hand man to lean on. I don't think he would have been too impressed, you know, after you know, not just losing Callum Davidson, but the timing of it as well. That was a big worry for me. They approached him once, I think, St Johnstone, then they come back for a second nibble right at the business end of things, I think, last season. And it was strange timing, but it is what it is, and he went. Also, you know, COVID. Let's talk about COVID as a whole, as a pandemic across the fucking globe. We've all had it. Yes, we are the 12th man at Mill. Yes, we believe that we are, you know, a better and a stronger fan base than others, and we are an intimidating place to come and play at. That is a definite. That is a fact. However, there'll be other clubs that believe that they're in that same boat. So I will allow Rowett a little bit of leeway there. I mean, look, I'm saying I want him out, but I think it's a shame because I think he is a good manager. I think he is a good manager. He's very defence-minded. What it is with Rowett, I'm getting ahead of myself, but I'll say it while it's fresh in my mind. I've made notes today because I don't want to miss anything out. His teams are quite technically good. We don't have the players to play how he wants to play, I believe. And that's why now he should maybe think, okay, I've got to get myself to a certain point and then ask the chairman to invest. But I'll get onto that shortly. He is, his players, he picks flair players. And I'll be honest, it's players that I've said we need better players. And a lot of us have said we're bored of Harris hoofball. We want better players. We want flair players. And now we've got them in. We're like, I'm like this. They're not really Mill type players. Mill type players are people like Ben Thompson. Kick, bollock and bite. Ben Thompson, I know, for those screaming at the camera, he's not a fantastically talented, technical footballer. But he gives fucking everything for that shirt. And you can see it when he came on again yesterday. And Harry can't get a start in front of the two Ryans in midfield is beyond me. And this is the thing with Rowett now. I feel like he's banging his head against the wall. I feel like he's got to stand up and take responsibility and say, right, how can I keep myself in a job here? When people say to me, he's got to play 4-4-2, I go, look, it's a non-argument. He won't play 4-4-2. But you was right and I was wrong. He needs to look at other alternatives. And he did do that when he first came to the club. Games against Charlton at home where he brings Aidan O'Brien on. Matt Smith changes the game, wins the game. And we go away to teams and he tried different things at different points. And it was good because Harris used to do the same two subs every week. Left back for left back, left mid for left mid. And we got bored of that and it was fresh under Rowett. And I think Rowett came in and tried to find the right formula. And that's why he was experimenting. Then he found what was working. Now that's not working. I don't think he wants to then re-experiment, which he needs to do. Because I said, honestly, in my honest opinion, this is only going to go one way. I don't think... Well, actually, I do think after 10 games without a win, you know, 5 goals in those 9 games that we've lost, haven't won in. It's not good reading. And when I put it out yesterday as well, another thing that I was surprised at, I didn't think it was that much of a big deal when I said he's got to go because, you know, we're an unforgiving fan base as it is. And I do respect the fans for jumping on it, those who did, and said, fuck you, because they're sticking up for our manager. And they probably see it that it's not helping the cause, saying what I'm saying. Gary Rowett in charge is not helping the cause. This is only going one way. And maybe I'm a bit premature by calling it, but I'm so confident it's going to go west or south, whichever. It's not going north. Let's put it that way. So I'm very, very confident in what I'm saying. I'm saying it in the interest of the football club as a fan because I personally as well as I don't want to see the club in League One. I'll be honest with you, from a selfish personal point of view, I've worked too fucking hard for the last 4.5 years to see us drop back into League One. I don't want to do it. I only want to go and progress and go further. So, yeah, difficult times. Let's get into the game. I may have missed things. I said things on my full-time reaction yesterday and I missed some stuff out and I was like, oh, fuck. So I'm trying to remain calm and trying to talk about the honest points. The game yesterday was a complete shit show. 3-0 down in 23 minutes. Marlon Romeo's at fault for the first goal. Ryan Woods and Ryan Leonard collectively, because they've run through our midfield again, it was very similar to the Blackburn goal, are both to blame for the second goal because our midfield is non-existent. Non-existent, our central midfield. And again, it's absolutely ludicrous how Ben Thompson can't get in. Was our saviour when he come back under Neil Harris, when he come back on loan from Pompey. Okay, tailed off a bit, he had an injury, he's come back in. He has to play. And it seems to me like Rowett doesn't like anyone with any pace. You know, we've had injuries, yes. Let's cover the third goal. The third goal, Ryan Woods, I can't keep going on about it. And again, people hammered me for it. And now slowly, a few people are starting to come around and say, yeah, he's not as good as we thought he was. He's not a Mill player. Technically a good footballer. Absolutely no good to a Mill side. No good to a Mill side. There's a lot of players in our side like that now. Let's get on to injuries, okay? Everyone's going, we've got injuries. We've got Conor Mahoney injured, right? We've got Billy Mitchell injured. That's pretty much it now from a first team perspective, I believe. I may have missed people. I don't think I have, right? Billy Mitchell, very exciting young talent, has played a handful of games. He will be a first team regular in years to come, believe me. But he hasn't really been a first team player under Rowett. So take him out of that equation. Ken Zohar, injured. You only played 1 game. Take him out of that occasion. Conor Mahoney, everyone's saying, you say, we need Conor Mahoney. I like Conor Mahoney. Again, I'll get onto him in a minute, though. He falls into a bracket for me. I like Conor Mahoney. But Rowett doesn't really pick him as a first choice anyway. So who isn't there that Rowett really picks for a first team? The players that he did get to play to start with. Everyone said Rowett done a brilliant job when he first come in. How did he do that brilliant job? He did that brilliant job with the players we currently have. Billy Mitchell, Ken Zohor, and Conor Mahoney. All good players, all going to be first-team players, in my opinion. Strong first-team players for us. But at the minute, neither of those three, that trio, have not really figured under Gary Rowett. So I ask you, if he could do it with the players then, why can't he do it now? I'll tell you why, because they've completely lost faith. It looks to me on the pitch like he's lost the dressing room. I saw someone say that in the comments yesterday, that there's rumours of players. I've not heard anything like that. I don't believe that at all. But it does seem to me that something, and listen, it's nothing personal. I don't dislike Gary Rowett. I'm not looking for views. Honest opinion, as a fan, looking at the perspective of the football club, he's lost it and he can't get it back. It's not savable. Again, he did it with the Neil Harris players that he inherited. And he inherited some shit, yes, but also inherited some fucking very good ones. I'm swearing again. Sorry, I'm going to calm down. So, right. Where do we move on from here? Because I'm not doing any edits today. I'm not cutting any clips because I can't be fucking bothered. It will take me too long. I just want to say what I want to say and get it out there for the pelters to come back in the opposite direction. Yeah, let's talk about players. Right. Gary Rowett's players. Okay, he hasn't had loads of money to spend. He hasn't had time to spend. He knew when he took this gig on, it wasn't going to be a Stoke turnout. It wasn't going to be a Derby turnout. And I like what he did. I like his idea, what he's trying to do. The players he's brought in technically, Parrott, technically, Mason Bennett, technically, Ryan Woods is not Goods. Yeah, those players he's brought in. But Woods is on massive wages, apparently. So it's allegedly. He's on a big contract from Stoke. So we're obviously covering part of that. Mason Bennett was a risk to take on. Troy Parrott was a great loan to get, and it was unfortunate. I will give Rowett another little bit of leeway with that one. So, okay, he didn't have a summer. It was a different summer to any summer there's ever been in football. There was no transfer window. Every club's been in that same position, not just Gary Rowett. The budget, he knew that was going to happen when he came to the club. He knew he wasn't going to be able to spend like he did, and he had to beg, borrow and steal and do what he had to do to get by. So, I do sympathise slightly, but at the same time, you can't really, put that into the equation. And, getting back to the game yesterday, 3 goals down. Oh, I'm sweating thinking about it. 3 goals down. He takes off the skipper and puts on John Daly Bavarsson, right? And this isn't Bavarsson's fault, and a lot of people using Bavarsson as a scapegoat. Okay, shit, but he's not the only one. It wasn't his fault he's 3-0 down because he wasn't on the pitch. First question I want to ask Gary Rowett there is, where's your prep? Where's your prep with Middlesbrough? Because after 23 minutes, you realise it's gone massively wrong. I'll tell you where his prep is. There isn't no longer any prep. He plays the same way, the same system. He relies heavily on the same 4 or 5 players. Mason Bennett again, Ryan Woods again, if both fit, first names on the team sheet, regardless. It's a little bit like a Steve Morrison in his last season or a Tony Craig in their last season thing with Harris, a bit of loyalty being shown. And I think he knows he's brought him to the club and now he's got to play him. Mason Bennett's completely wasted on the left, by the way, and I'll get into that in a bit. Yeah, I just think he needs to now stop being stubborn and realise what he's done. But to take off Alex Pearce, I know why he's done it. He's trying to change the formation because he's done it wrong and because he has no prep. And by the way, if he's still in charge on Tuesday, which he probably will be, but looking at it right now, he won't change it again. He'll do the same things. He'll play the same players. He'll make the same substitutions. And that's why I think it's gone. If he come out and he put the youngsters out or he tried something completely different, I'm going to tell you the team I think he should play in a minute against Bristol City, and this might shock you, I'd have more respect for him. At least he's trying to, but he's stubborn. And he won't try and change it now. And because he's brought Woods in, he's brought Bennett in, he's going to keep playing him. And getting back to what I was saying about Alex Pearce, the Alex Pearce thing. I know why I took Pearce off, but Pearce is the leader. He took the leader off. Mind you, I'll be honest with you, he's completely fucking elusive for the first 23 minutes of the game. And I did say at the start of the season, this is an area we are going to struggle in if we have to go 3 at the back. Because I'm not overconfident with him or Murray Wallace. Murray Wallace has to play, by the way, but I'll get onto that again in a minute. He brings on Bavarsson, which is possibly the worst choice. It's like he doesn't want anyone on the pitch with pace. I would rather have Smith on. I know he hasn't got pace, but he's the only one who can score goals other than Jed. Ben Thompson, Tyler Berry, Tom Bradshaw. Again, I'm not saying these players are brilliant, but fuck me, at least they have a go. And I noticed yesterday as well, too many people, the ball is, not only the ball's not moving, okay, but the people, the players aren't moving as well. You've got to pass and move, keep moving. And 9 times out of 10, you see people on the ball just standing still, knocking it back to someone else standing still. That's why we keep getting really good areas. And then, because we've got no final ball, because we've got no one who's prepared to take that risk, or if they do take that risk, haven't got the ability to deliver, they start coming backwards, 10, 20, 30 yards back. And it's no good to watch. Getting back to the Bavarsson thing, which I will finish this story again. Short story, extremely long, but I do like to do that. To bring on Bavarsson, and take off Smith. Tactically, I know why he did it. Tactically, I wouldn't have brought on Bavarsson. But when you're down and you need someone to dig in the trenches, I don't know John Daddy Bavarsson. He's probably a lovely guy, but you can just look and see by the way he carries himself and his facial expressions, he's got nothing about him. He's got no character. He's got, you know, so it was a massive wrong. And that was probably worse than the 3 goals. You know, I've covered the goals. Middlesbrough got in good areas. They scored a few good goals. I'll put them down to Marlon Romeo, Ryan Woods, Ryan Leonard. We lose the game 3-0. As I said, I'm just going to check my notes here while I'm talking to you because I think it's done. I've covered it all. Callum Davison, transfer window, budget. I've done it. Prep. I've made lots of notes today. I'm not going to edit this and be all high up tempo and production, happy, clappy and smiley because I'm just going to talk seriously. And because I think sometimes people think I do it for the crack. I don't do it for the crack. I do it because I love this club. That's the reason I do it. I've put myself in a very fortunate position. And make no mistake, I've worked my way into that position because I'm good at what I do. That's a fact. I'm not being big-headed. But I love the club. You know, I could go back tomorrow and do the job I used to do for 5 times the money. But I love doing this, and I love the club, and I'm honestly worried. I was laying there, I was saying to someone, I was laying there this morning, 4 in the morning, thinking about team selections, what I should play, what I would do next. I'm really worried. I'm really worried. I don't think it's saved one Rowett. How can he save his job now? I thought long and hard about this. As I said, 4 in the morning, I'm laying there thinking, oh, this one, that one, bang. So I'm looking directly now at Tuesday's game. Tuesday's game I'm looking at. Bristol City away, it's going to be a difficult task. We need to stop the rot. We need a win. But let's not fucking get ahead of ourselves because it's going to be a very difficult place to go. We cannot score more than 1 goal a game. So we've either got to try and keep a clean sheet, which at the minute isn't looking promising, let's be honest. Or, you know, we've got to score more than 1. Which I said, listen, that is not happening. Right, and let me tell you now why this isn't happening. And I'm going to be brutally honest, but hand on heart, that is my honest opinions about some players and about the current situation. And some of you ain't going to like it, but I don't really give a fuck because you come back and watch it. And if you want to have a debate, that's fine. I don't mind that. I don't mind the debate. And you know, this is what makes this channel tick. This is what keeps a roof over my head to talk about. And I love it. I love it. I live it. I breathe it every day, all day, every day. I don't just turn the cameras off and go and, you know, go and eat Nando's and watch Netflix. I live and breathe this every day. I'm on the phone to one mate. I'm on the phone to Kenny. I'm on the phone to Kieran. I'm on the phone to Pete. We're talking WhatsApp groups all day long. I'm online. I fucking love it. And I'm really, really worried about the club. That is God's honest truth. So I'm going to tell you the team now that I would play, okay? I'm going to tell you the team that I would play to face Bristol City. And you're going to think I'm mad. And if you would have told me this team, and I had said this team 6 months ago, I'd have probably said, yeah, you're right, I'm mad. But Rowett's in this shit. So this is the only way I think he can save his job now. He loses his stubbornness. He goes back to basics. He does what he did when he first came in. He re-experiments and he tries to find a winning formula. We need to find a way. We've got good defenders, usually. We've got to find a way to get forward on the pitch. Okay, we've got to try and find a way to score goals. The midfield's too deep. The 3-5-2, it has to go, or 3, whatever it fucking is, with 2 defenders, two midfielders acting like defenders. It has to stop. It has to end. Also, with a severe lack of team spirit, in my opinion, we've got very talented individuals, but collectively as a team, the team spirit's gone. They're shot, and they need help. So the only way, in my opinion, Rowett can. If I'm Gary Rowett now, I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, right, I've got to get to January. I've got to say to the chairman, because when Mr. Chairman comes to me and he says, Gary, your job's on the line, Rowett can. At the minute, he's got an excuse. Well, I've had no money. I've had no transfer window, despite the money he has bought on players, or he hasn't. He's loaned in, obviously, on big wages. But that's, he hasn't had a fair crack. Let's be honest. But we can't wait until January. If we can't be bottom at January and then give him a transfer window to save it. Something's got to give now. So, in my opinion, if I'm Gary Rowett, I'm thinking, right, how the fuck can I save my job? So I'll go to John Berylson and say, John, I know things are struggling, right? I haven't got the players. Please give me till February, so I'll get who I want in January. You ain't going to be able to, by the way, either change the complete construction of a team. Not like Neil Harris did the last 2 summers ago when he brought in 10 new players. That can't happen mid-season. So he's only going to bring in 2 or 3 at best. But what he needs to do is utilise what he's got. And he's not making the best of what he's got. He keeps leaving Matt Smith on the bench. Matt Smith come off the bench yesterday and he runs like me. His knees look shot. But he's the only one who can score goals other than Jeb Wallace. So he has to play. Jeb Wallace, again, terrible yesterday, but he has to play. He needs a rest, Jed, but he has to play. This is the team, anyway, I'm babbling on. This is the team that I would pick for Bristol City. You're not going to like it, but this is the team I'll go with. I'll put Bolkowski in goal, as always, of course. Murray Wallace, Millwall-type player, has to play in a flat back 4, left back. Jake Cooper and Sean Hutchinson have to play Millwall-type players at centre-back. Ryan Leonard should play right-back, okay, for now. I'd get Danny Mack back from St Johnstone, and I'll bring him back off loan and play him at right-back. But for now, Ryan Leonard has to play right-back. I'll tell you why, honest opinion, and I don't mean any offence by this, but it's not going to sound nice. Marlon Romeo is absolutely horrendous. He's a terrible footballer. And I'm sorry, he's terrible. He's terrible. That's my honest opinion. He's quick. He's an athlete. He carries the ball up the pitch well. But it's all in vain because he can't even strike a ball properly. He can't cross a ball. He's useless. I'm sorry. In League One a couple of years, okay, it was League One. He got forward, he scored goals. He scored a few goals, even in the Championship. He's gone backwards as a player. He is terrible, in my honest opinion. And I don't think he should be playing for the club. That's my honest opinion. I'm sorry if you don't like it, but that's how I feel. Then, in the midfield, Sean Williams, Ben Thompson, and then in a 10 in front of him for now, because there's no one else, Mason Bennett, okay? Mason Bennett is another waste of space. He's not going to have any long-time career at Millwall unless he can stay fit and play in a 10. Ryan Woods and Ryan Leonard. Ryan Woods is a good footballer technically. He's not a Millwall player. He's a complete waste of a player out there. Ryan Leonard, who I've tried to get on board with, he's okay. He's a better right back than Marlon Romeo. So stick him at right back for a minute. Ben Thompson, again, not technically brilliant. Sean Williams, getting on in his career now. Every time he's played recently, he's been more effective than Ryan Woods. I'm sorry if you don't agree with that, but he has. You don't have to be the best player at Millwall. You chase down a fullback, you chase down a goalkeeper and throw a tackle in. Look at predominantly Millwall legends. Good players, granted. No disrespect to any of them. I didn't see the legend Barry Kitchener play. Barry Kitchener, legend. Harry Cripps, legend. Keith Stevens, legend. Terry Hurlock, legend. Jimmy Abdu, legend. Not necessarily the greatest footballers in the world, but understand what it means to play for Millwall. Our players, Ryan Woods isn't one of those players. Mason Bennett, I don't think, isn't one of these players. Let's get on to the front three. I'll play Jed Wallace on the right. I'll play Shane Ferguson on the left. And that's probably the point when you all think I'm a fucking lunatic. Sorry for swearing again. I'm going to try and calm down. Because Fergie put some good balls in the other day when he came on. And there was no one on the end of it. He put 3 good crosses in a row into good areas and there was no one there. And then Matt Smith's got to play up front. Because here's another reality check for you. I've got to be honest. Troy Parrott's absolutely fucking useless. Troy Parrott isn't any good. Troy Parrott, I don't know why he's at Spurs. Listen, he's young. And he's technically a good player. Looks good on the ball. He's got no strength. He's got no pace. It might come to him later in his career. It's unfair for me to say he's useless. That could be a stretch. He's not ready for Championship football right now, Troy Parrott. And you've got too many, again, Troy Parrott, a profile of Troy Parrott. Look at his come Spurs, highly rated, lovely. Ryan Woods went for $6.5 million to Stoke. Lovely, fucking beautiful. Looks like a good player. Mason Bennett, a highly rated young Derby talent. Oh, he looked good. Conor Mahoney, fantastic footballer. You can't have too many of them lot out there at the same time because when you're in the shit and the back's against the wall, they're not the type of players that are going to want to turn up and be counted. Ben Thompson is that exact type of player. Jake Cooper is. Sean Hutchinson. Murray Wallace. This is why we've got to go back to basics. So again, I don't overly rate Shane Ferguson. You know that. I've buried him on the channel. He's blocked me on Twitter years ago because I used to say his shit. But he's a Millwall player. He understands what the club's about. He understands the indent of the club, you know, and what it's all about. And he will fight for that shirt. And he was in the Wilderness for a long time, Fergie, and I hated him. I didn't hate him. I didn't rate him as a player. And then when he came back in under Harris, because he'd been left in the Wilderness for so long, he started to kick on. I don't think he's very good. Don't think he's brilliant. I can cope with him as a squad player. But he has to play at the minute. So, to reiterate, this is the team that can get us a result, some sort of result. Don't get over hopeful. We might get a 1-0 or a 1-1. 4 at the back. Bolkowski goal, of course, the big dog. 4 at the back. Ryan Leonard, right back, flat back 4. Murray Wallace has to play, Millwall type player, left back. 2 centre backs, Hutchinson and Cooper, Millwall type players. 2 central midfielders, Williams and Thompson, with Mason Bennett in a 10 because Mason Bennett don't even play. You're going to play Mason Bennett on the left. You might as well let him have another 2 weeks off and him and Tom Brayshaw can go and do their holiday home up. Shane Ferguson left mid. Jed Wallace right. Jed needs a rest, but he has to play because we've got no one else. And up front, Matt Smith. That has to be the team for Bristol City. And I feel mad saying that. But that goes back to basics. That goes back to a Millwall type team that can dig in and do the basics right. We're not ready for what Gary Rowett wants to do. Well, having said that, we was ready, wasn't we? Because we was popping it nicely. But it's gone and he has to change something. But I'm telling you now, he'll go and he'll probably start with Varson. But he won't go to 2 up front, which maybe he should do. He should experiment with something else because if he keeps doing the way he is doing it, it's not going to work. And I got through that without shouting once, and without drinking any of my wine. So, breathe. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I do hope I'm wrong. I hope I'll get absolute fucking pelters over the next 3-4 weeks. Because Gary Rowett turns it round and they go, look at that fat YouTube mug. Look at him, the Wally. What's he doing, the dickhead? I hope that happens. I honestly hope that happens. But I can't honestly see it. So I'll say what I said yesterday. I'll say it again without anger. With having slept on it with full intention. I'm sorry. But Rowett out. Please subscribe to Lions TV. Come on, you Lions.